Yeah. A man.
A trick.
A trick to
trick
make a
break the
pot.
walls of Troy.
Welcome to a One Take Podcast, episode 211. Guys, we got some heat.
we are so back. Movies are so back.
Y'all heard about this movie?
Yeah. Y'all
Y'all
heard about this source material? Y'all know about this one? This week on the One Take Podcast, we are doing the Odyssey and the Invite. Two totally similar movies, actually, once you really break it down. But we are joined by Tyler Stafford. When was the last time that you came on? Did you come on for Project Hail Mary?
I don't think it was Project Hail Mary. It was some other. I can't remember. I've been on before. When I'm allowed to come on, I'll come on and talk movies all you want. I'm more than just the eye candy of a Astros baseball podcast. I have a lot of opinions, and I am ready and willing to discuss it. Much like the Apollo media landscape, I am actually just a silly little artist using sports as an excuse to do my art. And so I am here to discuss movies, which is my true calling. Also, if you want to talk just deep alt improv comedy, I'm ready to do that as well.
Big Kaufman guy?
Big, you know what? I just organized my movies.
Let's see.
Boom. There you go.
Of course.
Snagged that at the Andy Kaufman show. Snagged that at Half Price Books the other day. Big Kaufman guy. Love the Jim Carrey movie as well. But huge Dropout TV guy, comedy Bang Bang.
I love their stuff, actually.
If they would let me work for them, I would be incredible. The problem is I'll never be allowed to. But I know I do a good job. I'd be great on that.
Like you're restricted legal.
What a time that was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, Tyler, I'm not to put your public life out or your private life out there, but don't you have a billion kids? How did you find time to watch this 3-hour movie?
Yeah. I have too many kids. Too much kids is how I like to say it. It's not too many. There's too much kids.
Just a lot.
Here. I have 3, 6 and under. And so the last movie I saw in theaters before this was Supergirl, and that was on a work trip where I just snuck into my beloved AMC and saw Supergirl. And so I actually saw this first in 70 millimeter because that happened to be the time that it worked out. Not in the IMAX 70 millimeter, but AMC Gulf Point, God bless them, tried their best to project 70 millimeter film. And let me tell you, it was not as good seeing it in digital IMAX. That was much better seeing it in IMAX when you could just hit play on a button and not have to project it. They were trying their best out there off of the 45 and Beltway AMC Gulf Point 30. But I saw it once and I thought that was all I was going to get. And then last night, my wife was supposed to go see it in IMAX. And then didn't leave our house until 5 minutes after the show time had started. And I was like, you're going to miss 15 minutes of the movie. And she's like, well, can you just move the ticket later? I'm like, it's already started. The ticket doesn't count anymore. I'll go see it again in IMAX. So I got to see it again last night in IMAX. So I've seen it twice now. Big Nolan guy. I had this circled on my calendar for a while. I was in on Barbenheimer way before, everybody else picked it up because Greta Gerwig and Nolan are two of my favorite directors. So I was very excited for this. I have seen it twice, but yeah, that is about the only thing I have seen outside in quite some time. Well, if you'd like to talk about Miss Rachel or Blippi or what's going on with Wild Kratts on PBS Kids, I can keep you up to date on that too.
No, we're good. Okay. No, so we're talking obviously about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Again, have you seen it? You seen this? You heard about this?
Mm-hmm.
It's only made $8 billion at the box office, and it is Nolan's 13th film, I believe,
Sure.
or feature length film. Look, look, it's a 2,000-year-old text, but here we go. After the Trojan War, Odysseus faces a dangerous voyage back to Ithaca, meeting creatures like the Cyclops, Polyphemus, rather, sirens, and Calypso. Creatures like Calypso, what? Along the way. Written and directed by Christopher Nolan, rated R film, stars Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Travis Scott, really important there. No, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Corey Hawkins makes an appearance. It's really, really cool to see him. John Leguizamo, and a host of other. Elliot Page is also in here. Host of other actors that you've known from several Nolan things. But yeah, like I said, do y'all know the box office off the top of your head? Because this is the only thing that's been talked about.
It crossed 700 million today, I believe.
Yeah,
8.
Did it already?
The last thing that it was updated on IMDb, which I'm sure this will be wrong tomorrow when this pod comes out, but it was like $683 million worldwide.
My God, man!
Yeah, it's gonna make a lot of money
in 2.5 weeks.
Right now.
It's not even out in China yet, correct? I don't even think it's opened in China yet.
And there was some news that like China, I mean, they're basically, I guess this is correct. They're like state-run kind of theater chains, so they kind of can program whatever they want, and they like cleared out for Nolan. They're just the lane opened up, and it's like all of their theater chains are running this movie in the premium formats in China. So it's about to do gangbusters. But we wanted to talk.
If you went woke, you go broke. That's what I was told. That's what the internet told me. So I guess that was wrong.
No, Odysseus is gay, and he's coming to he's coming to steal your job.
It's about Odysseus' journey to figure out his gender and his pronouns, and that's what the movie is about. 3 hours about.
There was I guess we can talk about it. There was a ton of, if not just simply bad faith arguments, like bots on Twitter, which is mostly bots now. You can't look at a reply for anything because it's just literally bots. And you can tell because they're saying things that don't make sense. And so leading up to this film, there was a lot of bad faith arguments of one, surrounding the casting of Elliot Page, which is, oh my God. But like the bad faith arguments about that, the bad faith arguments about race swapping and things like that. And all of that in this movie, not being true to the Greeks, because so many people in America, that's what they were fighting for, was the Greek heritage.
Can you imagine being an adult in 2026 and having to pretend that Homer's epic poem, The Odyssey, is important to your political ideology?
It's important to you that Helen.
This is a thing that I have cared about for a long time, way before this movie.
Since I fell asleep popcorn reading it in 9th grade. Yeah, I mean, it was just, and then like Elon Musk got involved, and it was just all a big fart in the wind because Christopher Nolan is a brand unto himself, and he said, "Fuck y'all, I'm gonna make $1 billion." And it's going to happen. And by the way, I saw something today, and I don't know if anything's true on the internet, but wasn't he like personally thanked by like the president of Greece for
president over there?
The Roman emperor or whatever, but different country. But
the Caesar salad of Greece.
But they, I think he was like personally thanked for like bringing awareness to the Greek, landscape and isles and everything else.
Everyone knows it's made. It's not true. It's made up. It's a story.
Man. No.
It's fake.
I found that out when I was an adult.
This isn't a real thing that happened.
Obviously, I knew that the Odyssey was fake, but I definitely thought like the Trojan horse shit like actually happened, and I was like,
that
didn't realize it didn't until I was an adult.
Well, they kind of teach it to you. I remember in 9th grade, like they kind of teach it to you, like it almost is like historical in a way. Like I do understand what you're saying, and like because like Troy, the historical Troy is a real place. Anyway, we haven't even talked about the movie yet, but so yeah, this is gonna make $1 billion. It's gonna be one of Matt Damon's biggest movies. He's gonna get an Oscar, either win for sure nomination, Anne Hathaway is going to get a nomination if she wants to duck the smoke from Indy Never Ready. That is yet to be seen. And Best Actress. Tom Holland's going to campaign. Will he get it? I don't know. Robert Pattinson may be thrown in there for Best Supporting Actor. Who knows? But Nolan's surely going to return to form with being nominated for screenplay, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Director, Best Film. It's just going
editing, score. Yeah, I mean, there's makeup is going to get a ton. I mean, we'll talk about it, but I mean, all of the practical effects in here, but I mean, the Cersei stuff alone should get you whatever practical nomination you need. I mean, just look, at the end of the day, the movie is going to make $2 billion because it rips, dude.
Yeah,
this movie rules. It's so good. There are so many emotional through lines throughout. Every character has like 10 different emotions that they are feeling throughout the movie. It looks unbelievable. And I mean, yeah, like at this point you're being stubborn if you don't want to hop on the hype train here and love the Odyssey. This is awesome. It's so cool.
Well, and that was the Reddit thread was like, guys, we got to give this up. It's clearly popular. It's going to make $1 billion. Let's move on to the next thing. It's just like admitting defeat, but not admitting defeat, which is really, really funny.
Defeat of what? It's a 2,000-year-old made up poem. Like, what are we doing? Watch the cool movie in IMAX and appreciate it. It was awesome.
I should also mention Lupita Nyong'o was mentioned in the discourse, but she's excellent in the film. She's also in the movie. I mean, I can go on and on, but I missed some people. John Bernthal, you mentioned Samantha Morton, and Zendaya and Charlize Theron and Himesh Patel.
Sebastian Maniscalco, or not John Leguizamo is awesome.
Maniscalco.
I literally before we jumped on here, I watched.
Are you seeing this stuff in the Odyssey?
Yes. But he was great in it too. I was nervous, and I thought he was phenomenal too.
Yeah. Also,
don't forget about Benny Safdie.
Benny Safdie having that shit on,
and Corey Hawkins and Mia Goth.
Who's the guy that plays the Cyclops? Bill something. What's his name?
Oh, Bill Irwin.
He was awesome. The whole movie's great. Well, like, what are we talking about?
Benny Safdie might have had just the greatest aura farming performance we've ever seen for someone who has zero aura in real life.
Yeah, have you ever seen him in real life?
He just is a goober, and in this movie, he's the coolest dude you've ever seen.
I also mentioned Travis Scott, who is also in this film.
He's the first thing you see in the movie.
He is
a man,
a trick. I've been doing that a lot, which is unfortunate. But I guess, normally we'd start with our guest, Tyler, but I do have to say Tej Theater Magnus, as the young people would say.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My seat was uncomfortable, but I did go for my first showing. I did see 70mm IMAX, but my seat was super inconvenient, uncomfortable for 3 hours, but it was worth it. That's how good the movie was.
Tell us about it as Nolan intended.
Well, first of all, I will be the first to say that the connective tissue between the Invite and the Odyssey is that there's some Trojan horsing going on in both films. I really enjoyed the Odyssey. Obviously, I expected to enjoy the Odyssey. It's got every good actor that you've ever heard of and Travis Scott. So my expectations were extremely high, and I was just kind of blown away by it. It's just, first of all, it's beautiful. I should say I've seen it 2 times, although only 1 time in IMAX 70mm. The fucking movie is just beautiful. And every time Odysseus is on the boat with his men, it is literally the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen. And to kind of see the way that the story is set up, where you're not dropped at the beginning of the story, you are kind of, first you meet the people that are not with Odysseus, and then you hear about Odysseus, and then all of a sudden you join Odysseus, but he doesn't have his memory. So you're kind of getting his recollection, and you're kind of learning about these stories and these things that happen on his journey as he's relearning about them and remembering them. it's just a really phenomenal way to tell the story. And it's like most Nolan movies, you can literally pinpoint exactly when the second act starts, exactly when the third act starts. As soon as he gets his memory back, you know, oh shit, it's the third act. He's going home. Now he's got a wreck shop on all the suitors. Like, you just know that whether or not you know the beats of the story, you just know that Nolan does a really good job of giving you those signposts of like, you're entering your second act, you're entering your third act. To be able to make something that feels so fresh about a story that is literally the oldest, if not one of the oldest stories ever, is just so insane. No one's actually made an Odyssey movie. Obviously, a lot of people have made Odyssey allegories or taken parts of the Odyssey and put it into their film. We've seen Cyclopses, we've seen Sirens, for example, in other movies. But no one's actually sat down and said, let me make the Odyssey, because it's a bit sprawling, especially the book. There's like 20 other things that happens to Odysseus that don't even exist in this iteration. And it's still a 3-hour movie. It's still a 3-hour epic. It's just a undertaking that only certain people can have the juice to do, have the budget to do, have the creative audacity to try. And Nolan kind of gives us all those things. And then he brings the most popular, most amazing actors and actresses that he can find. The Odyssey is not like a perfect movie. But the first time I watched it, I really wasn't critiquing it. I was really just enjoying it. I was that into it. The second time, I did notice that the first act, it's kind of like, okay, like, can we get to the second and third acts, which are the better acts? I think that Anne Hathaway is phenomenal. I think that that Pattinson is phenomenal. I think Damon's phenomenal. But I really, especially the second time, I really came away being very impressed with the Tom Holland performance. His character is like given the short end of the stick in terms of impressing the audience. All he's doing is pretty much getting bits the whole time. His mom is kind of mad at him, which I think is totally unfair. And my biggest issue with the movie is kind of the interplay with Hathaway and Holland. And we've got to give Hathaway these moments to where she really gets to shine, and she does great in those moments. But like thinking about it again, and as I watched it the second time, I was like, okay, I understand why she's upset, but she's taking it out on this son, and it's not actually his fault. And in fact, what he's trying to do is save all of them. He's not just trying to exalt himself as king so that he could orofarm like Agamemnon. He's literally trying to help everyone and get these random suitors out of his house. And she's turning up on him and having big time monologues on him because she can't have one of those moments with the suitors. And I get that, but like in retrospect, I'm like, this is a movie invention, because her being upset with her son is completely stupid. That being said, the performances of both Holland and Hathaway in those scenes that I am in real time critiquing the scenes, I'm still like, man, I'm just washed away by the fact that they're both so incredible. I think they both did such a great job in this film. There are so many scenes that I would pick out that I absolutely loved. My favorite scene is probably the sirens and the way they use the theme that they play when you see the sirens. First of all, it's just a really amazing decision not to play the siren song. That is such a fucking cool decision. And to just have us see our star and the way he reacts, but we don't actually hear the siren song, just greatness. But the score they use for the siren song, they filter it through the second time you see the sacking of Troy. And to split it up between the first time where it's really just like an in and out stealth mission, we don't have time to do the rape and pillaging on the first part of the mission that you see, because it's really life or death. If we don't get these doors open, we're all going to die. So we don't have time for a romp or for any fun. It's got to be stealth. It's got to be calculated. It's got to be fucking football. It's got to be the Northman. And it's amazing. And you watch it and you just feel like you're watching the Northman. And then to see the same event recontextualized into what it really was, which is something gross and disgusting, and we're desecrating monuments to Athena and we're harming women, to show those things in both ways, to have the badass war score the first time, and then to have the Athena, the score where we get the siren score the second time you do that. That's just incredible filmmaking. Obviously, the score is amazing. This is an A+. This is up there in the God tier of Nolan. I would say that it's right up there with Oppenheimer. It's right up there with The Dark Knight. For me, this is one of the best movies you're going to see all year, if not the best movie. It's going to be nominated for all the Oscars, and it deserves it. I was mind blown by it. I gave it an A+, 5 stars on Letterboxd easily.
I have 1,000 things I want to say to that. Roy, do we want to go through the plot? Do we? How do you want to discuss this? Because if you don't rein me in, I'm going to just start talking for the next half hour.
Well, I would like for you to give a 2-sentence review plus a letter grade. No, go ahead and share your thoughts on the movie. Give it a letter grade. What you thought about it in total, and we can go through some of our key scenes that we liked after Dex and I talk about it in a second.
Okay, so my review of this is not my favorite Nolan movie. However, I think it is the Nolan movie that will define not only him, but filmmaking in the first half of the 21st century. I think, I think when you talk about great filmmakers and, the history of film, when you're talking about, all of the Mount Rushmore of people, I think at this point, if you're not considering Christopher Nolan as one of the best directors of all time, you're being stubborn and you're not zooming out enough, and you're just not recognizing what the passage of time means to a legacy. In 100 years, Hitchcock and Nolan are going to be peers. They're not like that. That wasn't one that came before, and then now this is the present one. Like when you zoom out enough in history, former history teacher here, not to brag, but when you zoom out enough in history, what he has done in his career thus far is on par with any other director. And honestly, I think you could argue has done more to push the art of filmmaking than any other director in history. I mean, this entire film was done on IMAX cameras. Like he basically forced an industry to make him the tools that he needed to push the genre forward. And when you write a textbook about film in the 21st century, the Odyssey is going to be one of the first things that you mention. Like it just is. Like this is going to be one of the most important films of this century. And I think he does it justice, which is unbelievable. That is such an undertaking. And again, what's wild is it's not even one of my favorites of his. I mean, I'll watch it anytime it's on. Like it looks incredible. I relate to some more of his other films more, and maybe that might just be time of sitting with him. But when you think about the gravity that it takes to make a film like this and to pull it off and to do it practically, and just how this is going to hold up over the passage of time, this is the film that you start his obituary with. Like when you're writing the history, this is the one that you're going to start with. And I think, I mean, anyone listening to this, I would assume is already in, but if you need convincing, go see this in an IMAX theater while you can, because like it is an experience unto itself.
I would say I would quibble with that. I mean, obviously it'll probably be director of, God forbid this doesn't happen for a long time, but it's going to be Oppenheimer dash the Odyssey, like, because that was always the question with, it's like, okay, so he got more mature, quote unquote, with his films when he made Oppenheimer. They rewarded him for it. We rewarded him for it. It made nearly $1 billion. And, it would say what you will, Barbie had a little bit to do with that as well, too, the event of it. But yeah, we'll talk about, or I'll talk about in a second, kind of where it stands with me. But then it was always like, could he follow it up? What could he possibly do with, following all of these accolades? And then he's just like, okay, well, let's just make the biggest movie ever. And not to say it's not Lawrence of Arabia, but it's as close as we've gotten in the 21st century. And that's pretty astounding. Dax, what did you think of it?
I mean, I fucking loved it. Obviously, first of all, A+, 5 stars. Like it's fucking incredible. Well, yeah, I'm kind of right with Tyler. I guess I'm kind of in the middle of you too. I think that for me, Oppenheimer is like the movie of the decade to this point. Like to me, Oppenheimer kind of defines everything about like this decade of filmmaking, from like the film itself to like how it was received as like a meme, basically. And like
They were doing memes this week of
yeah,
Oppenheimer.
like everything about it is just like the it's the epitome of this decade of filmmaking and how we watch films and things like that. But I think the Odyssey to me felt like, again, not my favorite Nolan movie, but it felt like the most Nolan movie, in that like you can kind of see every piece of like every little thing that he's been doing to this point, like all kind of came together for the Odyssey, right? Like the man has never told a story like straightforwardly, and
No.
like it's always like mixing timelines and all that kind of stuff. He's been doing that literally since Memento, obviously, like, and you can see that kind of coming to like its kind of ultimate form here. The practical effects and everything that he's been doing forever, you can see all that stuff like hitting its peak here. Some of the performances that he's able to get out of actors. And I don't know if that's because of who he like his reputation, or because of like any specific thing that he's doing on set or whatever, but he gets great performances out of people in ways that a lot of other directors who are really good at some of the like practical effects stuff aren't able to do.
Yeah, Gareth Edwards is somewhere seething because he's like, I can do all that stuff, but like all of the performances in his movies are the most wooden thing ever.
Yeah, he's just got it, man, in every aspect. And like I've seen, obviously there's been a lot of discourse about like quibbles with the script or faithfulness to the story or whatever, but I think that you can kind of see why Nolan adapted things the way that he did, even if you don't like them, right? Like making Odysseus feel guilty about breaking Zeus's law. I'm Zeus's law respecter, by the way. But you making him feel guilty about that, you can see how that connects to like not every other, but most other Nolan movies, right? Like all the way back to The Dark Knight, where he has like all this faith in humanity doing the right thing or whatever. And then in Oppenheimer, it's like, oh yeah, humanity kind of sucks, actually. We fucked up the world and it's broken. Like, you can see kind of all those themes like from his previous movies coming to fruition here. And like he just brought it all together in a way that is mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing to me that he had as many actors as we named who, are super famous and you expect to like have great performances in movies that they're in, but you're like, oh, okay, like there's diminishing returns on how many great performances you can get out of a movie. Except there's not. Like all of them have these great performances and these really cool
Zendaya has 3 minutes of screen time.
And she kills it. And you come away from this movie being like, oh my God, like Zendaya's character and like her role in the story is fucking incredible. Elliot Page's role in the story is incredible, even though he has a really small like amount of screen time. John Barenthal, like, his performance can be hit or miss for you, like whether you like his thing or not, but he gets his time to shine, and like he has a full arc, and like in the midst of all these other arcs, like
that's the thing, is that everybody has a full arc. It's everybody goes through so much emotion. There are so many things being pulled on, and again, I'm aware that is because it is coming from a 2,000-year-old poem that has been worked on for centuries, like all of that. But I mean, it's 3 hours long, and it feels like there's 20 characters that have 10 different emotional points that all get across, all while it's the coolest thing that you've ever seen on screen happening. Like it's an incredible feat of visual storytelling. I mean, we haven't even talked about like, throughout the movie, there are so many times where there's like overdubbing happening while you're watching a different thing happen on screen, and you're following the battle. That's it. Like you're watching something visually happen, and there is no audio that is telling you what's happening on screen. It is a different emotional thing happening over. It's unbelievable. Sorry, Dex.
He nailed it. Yeah, you're all good. He gave all the actors their time to shine. He paid off every character in a way that feels like, satisfying to watch. Like You know, all these different stories are pulled off well. I was never really lost in any of it, right? Like there's a million characters, they all have these funny names, whatever, but like I could always easily follow what was going on for the whole 3 hours. I was locked in. I wasn't looking at my watch like, oh my god, how much time we got left in this movie? Like, no, like he just fucking nailed it. He made a fucking amazing movie. It's an A+. I don't know that he could have done a better retelling of the Odyssey. Like he just nailed everything that he needed to nail. Like this is just an incredible fucking movie, and I don't know that anybody else could have done this in the way that he did it. There's always going to be like, you know, different adaptations of things, and we're going to get another like giant adaptation of some other unadaptable story or whatever that's going to be great. But like
The
this
Old
just feels
Testament
different.
brought to you by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, or like Denis Villeneuve is going to adapt, I don't know, fucking the Iliad or something or whatever. I don't know, but like we're not gonna get very many of these that feel like this. You know, this is just,
We get two this year.
Yeah, like I don't, and it works for. I know that there are some people who are like, you know, being poopy pants nerds about this and like, oh, like they didn't accurately adapt this part of the Odyssey or whatever. Nobody gives a fuck, man. Like he made the Odyssey feel like something that both normies and like, you know, movie boys like us can talk about in glowing terms. Like that's so hard to do, to like really make like an artful and, you know, like emotionally resonant version of the Odyssey as a film adaptation for us and for like idiots and for people smarter than us. Like it's so hard to do. Christopher Nolan fucking nailed it. He's him. Like it can't be argued at this point. He's him.
Did you see Emily Wilson, who's like the most popular translator of the Odyssey now? Is like it's like
Yeah, she
was like it's too woke. Like she was like, I found that very funny. She didn't say that, but she had some quibbles with it. You can find it all online in her interviews.
Hey, Emily, we don't give a shit about what the real Odyssey was. First of all, for the people that don't know listening to this podcast, the Odyssey, there's no such thing as Homer. The Odyssey is a poem that was being read at different parts and worked on and changed across hundreds of years before it was ever written down. There is no fucking guy named Homer who sat down and wrote this shit down. Homer is somebody who we don't even know if he existed, but if he did exist, all he did was collect these different versions of the story and different iterations of people performing it locally in their little part of Greece and their part of the world, and they're performing it and they're changing it for their audience, just like somebody doing a stand-up comedy tour. Every joke's not the same in every city. In this city, this joke's going to go this way. In this city, we're going to cut that joke. We're going to put this joke in. We're going to try this new joke, right? That's how the Odyssey was created. So to sit there well, he didn't do this according to the text. The fucking text isn't the first iteration of the Odyssey. Please, guys, just leave us alone. Let us enjoy movies.
Let us enjoy the movie.
I agree with you, Teach, but even let's say, let's give them the option to say like, no, this text is sacred and you have to follow. You know what Homer didn't have? IMAX cameras in 3 hours to tell a story. This is a different thing. This is a different thing than writing a book. Like this is different than all of those things. This is a movie and it rules. So quit being a baby.
Fucking rules.
What would Homer say? What would Homer say about the Odyssey? Oh my God!
Yeah, this is too loud. How are they doing that?
Why is that picture moving?
Did you say flaming hot Cheetos? What does that mean?
Indoor plumbing? I don't give a shit about any of this.
How is it so cold inside? How is this happening?
Is everyone wizards now? Yeah.
Why is this a constant buzzing happening? What the fuck?
No, I find this. I came out of it the first time, and little anecdote, and it's gonna sound like Movie Boy goes back to praise and worship at the altar of Christopher Nolan, but I promise you, it has a roundabout way of coming out. I went to the movie the first time, and I came out of it, and I was like, not underwhelmed because that's the wrong word, but I was like, when I saw Oppenheimer, I literally like
Can you tell the audience what your state of mind was when you watched it
Yeah,
the first time before you tell them what you
I was getting there. I was violently hungover. And as he takes another sip of red wine, but like I just was like tired and sitting there.
How did this happen? What I don't know the story, but how did this planning go wrong? How did you end up?
It was a Friday night.
Been there, brother.
Yep.
No
explanation. Wait. You were hungover from Friday night, or you were hungover from something that happened the day before?
No, Friday. No, I was hungover on Saturday from a Friday night.
Oh, got it.
And so we went and saw, and really it was like the lack of sleep. Like I'd been hungover and enjoyed movies, but like the lack of sleep, I was sitting there like 3 hours, like, oh God, like I was like, but and so it didn't have the emotional resonance because of my state of mind, just to be completely honest with you. And I was like, because when I watched Oppenheimer, even though I watched Oppenheimer earlier in the morning too, I was like, I literally was like levitating from my seat. Like I was just, I mean, we sung its praises enough, but I was like, okay, well, this is the pinnacle of what this year is going to be. And somehow when I left the Odyssey the first time, I didn't feel like that feeling. Like I had seen something that was going to be the best at the end of the year sort of thing. And so it's like, okay, I got to give this another chance because like people are talking about, and it's like this is going to sound like guy that was convinced by the internet that something is good. But I was like, people are talking about this in a way that like I feel like I'm missing something. And lo and behold, I was, because the last act of that movie is some of the best filmmaking and storytelling that I've seen in a long time. Now the first act, it's exposition junction, the movie.
There's so much exposition done really well, but so much fucking exposition.
I mean, it just goes in the third act, but also in a way that emotionally resonates too, because the story comes to a head of why, because you see all the stuff with the sirens and why he truly doesn't want to go home and all this stuff. And then it really plays out in real time. And the second sacking of Troy, it was like, it was emotionally devastating because not for nothing, kind of what's happened in the world over the last, we'll just call it 5 years, and
what happened?
The news. So just like that, and him admitting to himself why he didn't want to come home, the through line between the Odyssey and Oppenheimer actually is like, are we the bad guys? Which is fascinating. That, I mean, we haven't even talked about the people from the sea stuff. Like, it is fascinating that Nolan, like, if you look at these as like going hand in hand, which I think a lot of people have made those connections, and the TikTok edits are going crazy with all of that stuff.
Okay, I haven't seen those, but I need to find those because that sounds like
I'll send them to you. They're all in my liked folder.
Thank you.
But the through line between, are we the bad people? Did we do something that was going to change the course of the world for the worse? And all of that, and Damon's performance. Granted, a gripe I have with the movie is that a lot of this, Tyler, like you mentioned, isn't voiceover because of the constraints of the IMAX cameras. Like, you can kind of tell that like they only had 3 minutes of film to film on, because it's not quick cutting, but it is like, I saw somebody point out that like it does feel like the performances are rushed at times, and that is true once you go back and you look at it. And there's all big stirring monologues are kind of delivered in voiceover. That all being said, when he's reaching out to Zendaya as Athena at the very end, and you see the manifestation of her and what that means, and the second sacking of Troy, and oh my God, what did I actually do? I tricked these people who had a similar God to me. Like, what does that mean? And people have like, in bad faith, like we said, balked at that argument of thing. But I thought it absolutely slapped for a modern audience, and the stuff that we're dealing with which, you know, is like little M on the mind of Nolan, I think, but it's technically there over the course of the past two movies, is fascinating. And Damon absolutely sells it. And then he kills everyone in the room. And then it's just like you go from this emotionally wrecking, heart-wrenching scene in this battle and the sacking of Troy, and then it's like John Wick at the end of the movie, and you're like, what the fuck happened? And it just is you know, incredible to watch. Obviously I don't think this is necessarily Ludwig Göransson's best score, but when he strings the bow, and everybody's seen it on Twitter now, and that note hits, we love a good call. We love
crazy.
Yeah, we love a good callback, folks, you know.
Yeah, that goes crazy.
And I just think it all came together in something that you don't necessarily see. And Nolan is a thing unto himself. I mean, like you said, Dex, I think people quibble at like all of the themes that Nolan is interested in are literally still there. But over the course of the past few films, he's gotten more mature in how he wants to, in what he wants to say and how he wants to tell those themes. And I just found it upon rewatch even more resonating. It's a 5-star movie, A+ for me. Not my favorite. Maybe won't even be the best of the year. We got to see. Like, I kind of think Dune 3 is gonna slap, and we'll have to. I think it'll be a death battle for best visual effects towards the end of the year. But
did any of y'all see the Dune 3?
No, because we're broke and we didn't see it.
Listen, guys,
we're not close to the leak,
guess.
Okay, we got regular trailers down here.
I'm not gonna guess. What they showed us. I was fucking blown away. It's like 4 minutes. It's a battle scene. My heart was pounding so fucking fast. Dune 3 is going to be... I don't want to hear from you fucking nerds who read the books about how weird the script is. He's not going to do that nerdy-ass, weird-ass shit in this film, 1. And 2, holy fucking shit, this shit looks incredible. Dune 3 is going to be mind-blowing. And the fact that we're going to have these two movies going head-to-head for what I think is going to be Best Picture, Best Director, all the below-the-line stuff, that's just a fun fucking time at the Oscars. Meet us there, guys. We'll be there. Not at the Oscars, but we will be covering the Oscars. Make sure you find us at that time because it's going to be a fucking great Oscars year. I can't fucking...
Yeah, I mean, I think... I just genuinely think this is... Yeah, will it be on his headstone? Probably. Or in his obituary, rather, probably, like Tyler mentioned.
It's in the curriculum for high school English. Like this, I don't think you guys understand how. I agree. Oppenheimer was incredible. All that. Every kid in America reads this is a thing that everyone is going to talk about.
You would be shocked how many didn't.
Well, listen.
But yeah, I mean, it is
lots of them.
It's going to go fucking crazy when they're like, okay, we're reading the Odyssey and now we're watching the Nolan film adaptation of the Odyssey.
This is canonically a part of becoming an adult in the Western world, is understanding the Odyssey, and this is the film adaptation that you are going to understand it through. Like this is so much. I feel like I'm not, I'm with you as far as like other movies being my favorite of his. I think in 50 years, Oppenheimer is a blip under what the Odyssey is in terms of historical important. When you zoom out on a director's career, when it's 50 years from now and nobody alive was here to watch these movies in theaters, the Odyssey is absolutely going to be the first one that people mention for Christopher Nolan. I don't think it's close. Wow. I think this is absolutely the one that is remembered not only for him, but for just the art of filmmaking of the last, of the first part of the 21st century. I think this is the movie that people point to. Not only because of the way that the story is told, but again, the technical aspects of the IMAX cameras and like all of these things. Like this is the thing when you're a teacher, again, as not to brag, I have a master's in educational leadership, so I know a thing or two about teaching. Like when you're trying to give a 45-minute lesson on something, whether it's the Odyssey, whether it's just film, like whatever, like this is the first thing that you're going to bring up. And when that's the first thing you bring up about anything, that's going to be the first thing that people talk about with you in your legacy. I mean, it just is like in the same way that Albert Einstein did a million things, but we all know what E equals MC squared is because of the impact of it to our world and how we all understand what gravity is because we all experience. We all know what the Odyssey is. Everyone understands what that means. And doing this adaptation of something so big, so well, means that Christopher Nolan has cemented himself as being written in textbooks for the rest of his life, like, and for all of history. Like this is bigger than I think even people are giving it credit for.
A couple of things. It's very funny that you mentioned that because they no longer the 1990s miniseries adaptation just dies on the vine.
Yeah.
Did y'all have to watch that in school?
Yeah.
No.
We did.
No.
And it's horrendous. But so that like dies on the vine. But two, he does this movie because he doesn't get Troy back into the early 2000s. So then he does Batman Begins.
That leads on being doing Batman.
So it is an interesting sliding doors moment in that way because Troy is not very good. And people are like going back and like watching Troy now and reclaiming it in real time. Not very good. But yeah.
Brad Pitt is so fucking awesome, but it's poop. It's poop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that is funny in that way that he has just made now, like you said, Tyler. And, I tend to agree. We'll have to see. Like, hopefully I'm alive in 50 years, but probably not. And
hopefully humanity is. We'll see.
Yeah. So
he's also been doing the Odyssey and all his other movies.
Everyone
the first
has.
scene of Inception is literally a guy on a beach who's trying to get back home to his wife. Like literally, that's the first thing you see when Inception starts. The Interstellar is obvious. The allusions to the Odyssey are obvious in Interstellar. Also, a guy just trying to get home and dealing with.
John Fitnessy called it a "Dad Goes on a Work Trip" movie.
It's really fucking
in there.
I do that. Like Christopher Nolan has made like. He made like the superhero movie that we're like, that's what superhero movies should be like. And then he made the dream movie that like every time that someone has a dream or like, has a thought that they don't like remember where it came from. We're like, oh yeah, that's like Inception.
Inception became a word. Do you remember that? Like, it's now a thing.
Yeah.
He's just done this over and over and over. He's just that guy, man. Like I don't.
That's my
love
point.
it, hate it,
that,
whatever. You can't get away. Like he's just that guy.
Again, that's my point. Is that if you are not seriously considering Christopher Nolan as the most important filmmaker of all time, I think you're being stubborn. I think you're not understanding how time works, and that you're just you're focusing on people who have been around longer because you've had more time to understand their legacy. But I think if you zoom out enough and you gave enough context to everybody, like there is a very real argument that this is the definitive filmmaker thus far in the genre of just making films. I think Christopher Nolan has a very real case to being the most important filmmaker of all time.
Do you know who's interested in time? Christopher Nolan.
Very much so.
It is funny now, and it's not the end all be all, but he does now have more Oscars than Hitchcock and Kubrick.
Yeah. And it's like, you have your other kind of greats of this era, like your PTAs or your Tarantinos or whatever, but it's like Nolan went and got his Oscars before PTA did. He's shitting on him at the box office. Like there's nothing like what does he not have that you would want? Like he's just doing it all. Like it's not like, he's got critical acclaim, but nobody actually sees his movies, or everyone sees
strong
movies,
female lead.
Critical acclaim. Like
I was just gonna say, if he could write a woman part that's like good, that would be great.
True.
But other than that, he's got everything.
Yeah.
I do want to opine on the Oppenheimer though, and I'm not gonna say which one I think is a better film. I think it's too early for me to say that. Let me say this though: The Odyssey is obviously technically a much harder movie to make. much, much, much harder movie to make. But I think that Oppenheimer is the harder, it is the more unlikely success story, because there's no way if I just gave you the nuts and bolts of what Oppenheimer is that it should work. The third act of the movie is centered around a hearing that they tell you in the movie doesn't actually matter. They tell you in the movie that the result of this hearing actually doesn't matter, which means that it should not have stakes, but it does. The only traditional set piece that you have in this movie happens in the middle of it, and the atomic bomb goes off, which is objectively cool. The Odyssey ends in a big fucking John Wick like brawl where someone is throwing different melee weapons through a hole in the ceiling. If I told you that that's how a movie ended, you would say, yeah, that sounds like a fucking awesome movie. That's a movie I would like. If I told you I was going to end my movie by having a bunch of white people and lawyers in the tiniest room you've ever seen, where we're putting either ghosts or regular people behind Oppenheimer, who's literally not even being interviewed, and some other person's being interviewed, you'd say, that sounds like a piece of shit. That does not sound like it would be fun. And then if I told you it was 3 hours, you would scream. You'd say, I'm not watching that. And I rewatched Oppenheimer right before I saw this saw the Odyssey the first time. And the way it's compelling, like when you're watching the Odyssey, every 15 minutes you're seeing there's a fight with this guy. There's giants on the screen. There's cyclopses on the screen. You get to see the hottest white woman you've ever seen on a beach scantily clad every 10 minutes. So there are easy things to keep the general audiences happy and entertained. Oppenheimer doesn't have any of that stuff, and it's still just as compelling and just as gripping. So I will not say which one is the better movie. I will say, to me, I will always hold Oppenheimer in a different space, because it should be impossible to make a movie with that premise be that good and that compelling for 3 hours. It's just not possible.
Teach, the third act of this movie is told to you exactly what will happen in Hades. He literally says, you're going to go to this place. There's going to be a whirlpool. Everyone will die there. You got to go to the right. But if you tell them to go to the right, then everybody's going to die. But you go that way, and then they're going to try to eat the cattle on this island, and then everybody's going to die, and then you're going to go back. It's the same thing. He tells you what's about to happen, and then is still able to make it compelling. It is an incredible trick, and that's one thing I want to talk about with this movie is what do we think the screenplay of this looked like? Do you think that it was linear, that they filmed it of just, let's film from the first to the beginning, and then when we edit, we'll figure out how we want to tell the story back and forth? Do you think in the screenplay it says, now we cut to Calypso and Matt Damon is explaining to her, like, what does this look like when he is doing this? Because clearly when they film the Troy, the sacking of Troy, like that is just 2 months out in the middle of, like, they filmed the whole thing in that way. It's not like they're cutting back and forth between that. What did this look like on paper when he is pitching this movie?
I have to imagine that, like, I don't think it, like his movies, I doubt his scripts are linear in that way. I mean, I bet it has a lot of, I haven't seen any of them, but I bet it has a lot of direction of, like, because this is the guy that wrote Memento, he and his, brother, but like, it is like, I would imagine it is cut to beach with Calypso. Do you remember? Cut to I had a wife. Cut to, and so I think it's probably like that, but it is fascinating to think about, because I think if you put it all linearly, like, it'd be impossible almost to film, because you'd have to be okay, so what page are we on? What are we doing? And it's like that would be almost, I feel like, impossible to film. But no, can we talk about Damon really quick?
So what good. A guy.
So good.
Dex has always had the take where he's like, and this isn't necessarily Dex's take, but I'll give him credit for it. It's like the last movie star with like Tom Cruise.
Just that guy. He shows up to your movie and does movie star shit and just makes it better. Like, he shows up in Ford v Ferrari and he just puts his dick on the table. Like, I'm Matt Damon. I'm cool as fuck. Like, y'all can talk about this nerdy car shit, and I'm just gonna like look cool and like be cool.
He's fucking jacked in this movie, bro. That he's like 50 something years old. Nolan had him out there really doing this shit, really put him in the fucking wooden horse. He said that he said every scene of this movie was the hardest scene that he's ever filmed if you compare it to all the other lots of movies that he's been in. And you could tell this did not look like it was fun for these actors, especially Damon, who's old as shit, to be out there in that boat getting beat on by that storm. Like that shit does not look like a fun.
He had him in a torture rack, man. He was out there like
it did not
Dude,
look fun.
And he's still funny at points in the movie.
And you're rooting for him the whole time, despite his character making choices that you should not be rooting for him.
Yeah, like a real shitheel sometimes.
When he shoots the Cyclops, right? Or when he's got this pride that you shouldn't be rooting for him for, or when he, accidentally forgets himself for 7 years with Charlize Theron, which who among us, passed the first stone. But listen,
babe, I couldn't come back. I was just like dealing with. I had to go to the bank.
Look, we've all been there. We've all been high out of our mind on the beach with Charlize Theron, and you forget yourself, but you're still rooting for him the whole time. I think he is able to bring that element to the character that I don't think that any other actor would be able to bring with the text. I don't know if it's some other action star or something like, they might be able to pull off the Troy scenes as well as he does, but I don't think that you can get the emotional arc of rooting for Matt Damon the entire time that you can with him in the movie. And I mean, I know we can talk about the turn at the end of him recognizing that we are the men from the sea and we have caused the downfall of civilization is so good.
It's where it
and
flipped for me
pays
the
off
second time.
so well. And it is not, I would imagine, other people have said this. Listen, hand up. I think I read the first 10 pages of the Odyssey in 9th grade English class. I don't remember much of it. But I don't think that is a through line of it modernizes it so much to recognize that we did this thing that we thought was good, but it's actually a bigger issue to all of humanity. And we are connected more than we ever thought that we were before. That is such a modern understanding of that issue. And Matt Damon pulls it off so well, because again, you are rooting for him the entire time. You understand he is this unbelievable warrior that has to do what he has to do to win this battle, but he understands the gravity of what he has done, and then to exile himself at the end and to leave it to his all of that emotional payoff is so good. And that would be easy to skip over, because you could just think, oh, let me make this movie with the cool Cyclops and the Trojan horse and all these big guys fighting, and there's a whirlpool and there's monsters and all this. You could do all of that and it would look awesome on IMAX, but it would not have the same emotional arc as this movie does. And to pull off both of those at the same time is nothing short of a miracle.
You also get the Matt Damon. I mean, we haven't even talked about the siren scene, but when they're tying him up, you get the Matt Damon smirk that he does, where he's like, "So I could be the only person that has heard it."
So good. And again, you shouldn't be rooting for him there. He's being an asshole. No. That's not a good decision.
A real bastard. He's just
that's not smart for him to do. And you're still the whole time you deserve it, Matt. You should be able to do that, and I'm happy for you. I hope this works out well for you. My hot take is the sirens. I know they didn't play it, but in my head, it was the beat switch from Sicko Mode. I think that's what they were listening to. He heard that and he was like, "Oh, this is it. This is what I need."
Somebody said get over there.
You needed more Travis Scott in this film. There's enough Travis Scott in this film.
I don't know. I think that would have done it. I mean, can you imagine if the beat switch had happened right there? Boom,
I would have walked out of the theater literally.
Somebody said he was. Somebody said he was too much of a coward to let you know what he was actually playing. Steely Dan.
Oh,
It's like,
come on!
But-
Don't make me go to my record
Your
collection.
dirty
Over here.
work.
but there was also something that was like their edit going around talking about Agamemnon having that shit on. He was when he walks into when they open the gates and he's literally Darth Vader. It's like an homage to Darth Vader, clearly. And like he walks in and he's just standing there menacingly. Somebody put Fiend over that.
Mhm.
And,
See,
and somebody said,
absolutely.
"Yo, this is actually how it went. They played this in the movie." And I thought that was really funny.
Mhm.
Agamemnon had that shit on so much so that when he died naked, and still in Hades, he still put that shit back on. That's real aura farming. That is aura for you.
Who
bro.
was
That's
y'all's
amazing.
favorite side character?
I kind of think Himesh Patel kind of killed it in this
he's
movie.
So good.
Yeah, I think he was great.
I
I also thought Corey Hawkins was really, really good to where he gets the biggest reaction from the audience in both of my screenings when he gets the arrow to the neck,
when he gets
just
Kirk.
because of how much of an asshole he is, and he's only got like 4 lines in the movie. That is efficient.
Dax, you didn't say that.
You got Kirk.
I heard what Dex said. I'm not gonna
I
acknowledge.
mean,
that.
Samantha Morton as Cersei, I will think
We haven't
about
even mentioned her
forever.
yet.
She is
She was great.
unbelievable in that.
That
Practical
shit
effect
was
on what she's doing with those
terrifying.
pigs, by the way.
Gross.
That's
Go back into
horrifying.
your disguises. Go back. Like, that's not in the script. There's no way that was in the script. That's her, like, hey, go over there and, rub some pigs and whisper into your microphone there. And, like, she's unreal. She's so creepy. And again, the emotional arc of that, of understanding her fear, understanding why she would do this, and then understanding everything that she has gone through, and then to put them back, and I like just so good. And she, that whole sequence is incredible.
And the whole thing with her sister like hits hard, even though
we
it's
get along better this way. Great.
It's 2
We get
minutes
along
of the
better this way.
film,
It's
but you're
crazy.
still just like, oh fuck, like that shit is incredible.
The Cyclops stuff rules. Like, Bill Irwin looks unbelievable, and I love the sideways eye. That's great.
By the way, loudest fucking
the
thing
sound in
I've ever heard.
IMAX is so cool. Like, that noise when he gets stabbed is unbelievable, and it just looks so good. Like, again, it's just in an era of Marvel movies where everything is just in a green screen, and I'm not here to rag on those, even though I do think that I'm a better person for not getting them as much as the rest of you do. To watch that be done in a camera and see that play out on screen is just unbelievable. I mean, the whole movie is just 15-minute stories of side characters back and forth. They're great. Robert Pattinson is unbelievable.
Talked
in
about him
this.
enough. It's incredible shit heel. Robert
great.
Pattinson.
He's so good at just being a snarky asshole. That's our Batman, who's like, yeah, I'll come on set and be a complete dickhead, and I'm just gonna
He
crush it.
made
That guy's Batman.
Beggar
Like, currently
into
our
a
Batman.
slur. Like,
I
in
wanted to.
real
I
life.
meant to text that to y'all.
Like,
Elliot Page is
like,
great. The
everyone that I know has been using beggar as a slur for like 2 weeks because Robert Pattinson delivered that so well.
What was the other one?
Beggar's out of here.
the whole, like I said, the whole movie is it's just nothing but haymakers back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I think to me the standout is Patel, and I really hope that he gets like a leading vehicle at some point. Like, he was just.
And it was
He
kind
was
of insane
really,
because
really
like
good.
I didn't really realize he was even in this movie until like right before.
Can you
it came out.
imagine if he was on that ship and he was the only one who remembered the Beatles? Think about how good this movie would have been. Like,
been better.
if he just started singing "I Want to Hold Your Hand" and everyone's like, "What is that song? Is that the Siren song?" He's like, "I don't know." And it just would have been so good.
You aren't ready for this one, but your kids will love it. No, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was actually probably like the best supporting actor. Samantha
I
Morton's
agree.
gonna get nominated for best supporting actress, mostly because that scene's awesome, but she's just been doing it for forever, and so like she'll probably get her flowers there.
Anne Hathaway is lying if she goes in as lead actress, but that's
She's
okay.
not a lead actress. In
She's
this.
not. I will say, listen,
There's no such thing as a lead actress in a Nolan
Yeah,
movie.
that's fair. But
there's literally no such thing.
I mean, I get the idea there. But TJ, honestly, my only, it's not even really a complaint. It's probably more of just my issue. But every time Tom Holland was on the screen, I was like, well, there goes Spider-Man. What's he doing here? You know, like
that's unfortunate Spider-Man for him.
Doing? And that's not totally his fault. You know, some of that is, he is really good at playing the sad little boy. So when he and Matt Damon are together,
wants to be taken seriously,
I think
as a
that's
man.
really good. I think up until that point, I didn't fully connect with him there, but I mean, gosh, everybody in this movie is unbelievable. Did y'all hear I forget where Matt Damon talked about this, but he was talking about filming the Siren Song scene, and that, you know, you're doing it practically, like it takes an hour to get out onto the boats and get the camera set up and all of that. And Nolan told him, like, we're going to do the most emotional part first, and you're going to be on a boat. Like, you're going to go out there by yourself, get ready. And then as soon as we get there and set up, we're going to tie you to this mast and you're going to start screaming. And then we'll get all the other stuff later, because that's easier. But that is a good director, man. Like, to understand what is the emotion we need to convey in this scene? What am I asking of my actors? And what do they need from me in order for that to happen? It's one thing to point a really cool, expensive new camera in a direction and get a cool shot. It's another thing to understand the emotions that are being conveyed and what you need from your actors. And he does both so well.
Just got it all, man.
He's awesome. He's, again, you're being a baby if you don't want to come to the side of, like, this guy is on the Mount Rushmore of filmmaker. Like, he just is. Like, whether you want him to be or not, like, he is one of the most important filmmakers of all time. And you're being a baby if you don't want to hop on board yet.
He's got people ready to, like, fight AMC and Cinemark for not having 70mm IMAX theaters.
As they should. What is Mom Donnie's plan for getting Webster, Texas, a 70mm IMAX screen?
I did find that funny that they interviewed for some reason the CEO of IMAX was at the thing, and he's like, well, you know, there's just not enough. It would be tough to, like, build some more, you know. And everybody was like, brother, you're the guy that builds them. Like,
everyone was like, I will beat you with hammers. Like, build more fucking IMAX theaters.
I hate to be pro company. I don't give a shit about IMAX the company.
There's a reason that they don't. I know, yeah.
Theaters. But there's it's because some of us are in the fucking mud watching the movies that come to theaters, and sometimes that means you're gonna have a swing and a miss. Sometimes that means you're gonna go see something that's a piece of shit, and it's not fun, but it's going to happen. But y'all don't leave your fucking houses. Sorry, Tyler, I know you have a ton of kids, and I can respect that. But y'all are not out here in the field. So when we get something like a big ass Nolan movie that drops, and now y'all want to complain about IMAX theaters, get your ass out there in the field on a random Tuesday to go fucking watch cinema, and then maybe there will be more of those theaters.
Quite frankly, they don't film enough movies. Like, you're not watching The Invite in 70mm IMAX.
Not yet.
True.
Not yet.
Again, that is my point of why this is a movie that is going to be a turning, like, of film history. Of this whole thing was shot in IMAX. Look what it's going to make. $2 billion at some, you know, like, this is going to make so much money. More films are going to be done in this way, and this is going to be the one that you point to of, like, oh, well, look, there used to be 40 IMAX screens, and now there's 200.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that folks will try. Well, look, I think that folks will try. They literally invented new cameras for this thing to, like, do. Actors were having to act with, like, mirrors to, like, see their performances.
And now they all know how to do it. And they already exist. Camera what are you talking about? They didn't throw those cameras away. Somebody's going to use them now.
I'm saying that.
Are you saying that Infinity Vision is not going to
revolutionize cinema?
The premium? Is that what you're saying? Because Infinity Vision is coming, brother.
Let me tell you, that shit's fake. And I
don't know what it is. But I know that it's here.
I just think that they're going to take too many. Notoriously, theater owners super adept at change and love taking swings on things. I just think that like, yes, there are going to be in the interim, there are going to be more large premium format screens, but the fact that I just don't think like they don't make enough of these movies, and they won't, because it's like no one is Christopher Nolan. Like no one is like there's two guys. There's like Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan, and like that's it. And Denis Villeneuve.
Hey, don't forget about Coogler. Coogler's
That's
about
true.
to film Black Panther 3 on
But there
film.
weren't.
And whoever
On
Tom
film,
Cruise
guys.
decides he likes that weekend. you
Yeah,
know?
but there wasn't a Christopher Nolan 15 years ago. Like it just takes time. Like when you see the success of this, you're gonna go, okay, there are people coming out. We have things sold out for the next month and a half. This is a thing that people are interested in.
But it's
You're
just
gonna-
Christopher Nolan.
Well, there's also Levy. Levy's
Oh my
making this
god!
Levy
Oh my
time.
god!
IMAX. I'm filming the next MCU movie. All IMAX, baby. All IMAX.
No, I don't
Michael
think you're
Bay is
necessarily
gonna make Ambulance 2 for 70 millimeters.
I really I think that in the post-COVID world, where so much of our life, so many of us work from home and we are isolated and we're watching on our own screen, I think there is something even more important about a communal big screen experience than there was 20 years ago when that was I think there is something to be said about an event to go and watch something with people that you don't get anymore. You're not going into an office with 500 people and you're carrying your briefcase in there and talk, like none of that happens. There's something to be said about the need for human connection and Zeus's law of hospitality, might I add, of just welcoming everybody in and watching this together. And I choose to believe that, in the course of human history, we recognize there is something that is important about us being together and experiencing something as one and seeing it on a giant screen and hearing a Cyclops scream when it gets poked in the eye and wondering why it wasn't hanging dong. All of these things are going to be important in IMAX. And I think they're going to build more of these, or at the very least, even if they don't build more screens, which I think they do, I think there's just going to be more movies that push for these premium formats because it works. Like people want to say, I mean, Mission Impossible when it came, even though it didn't perform the way that, or Top Gun Maverick or whatever, like when there's a big movie like that, people want to see it on the biggest screen possible with as many people as possible because you just don't get that experience anymore.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and I do think, sorry, Dex, I do think that there is, like you said, I think there is a shift in the culture now, especially with younger people, and we've seen it. Like the stats would play out. Like I agree with you, like that like the kids be going to the movies, and like so, yeah, there is something to be said about that. Will IMAX in turn? Like you said, he was complaining about it on the red carpet. Like he was just like, I don't know if we can build them. So it'll be late to adapt. You're probably right. I'm just interested to see if like they build more than there's the other problem is Tej. People were complaining because like there's 41 theaters in the continental US and like 10 of them are in Los Angeles. So like that's probably the problem that people were real mad at. It's like the Chattanooga, Tennessee aquarium is the only thing that had it on like the Mid-South, you know what I mean? But
I saw Oppenheimer
the only one in Georgia is in like a mall in Buford, like an hour outside of Atlanta.
Wow.
Like, why is that the case?
I happened to be in Fort Lauderdale on a work trip for Oppenheimer, and there is like a natural science museum that has a 70 millimeter IMAX. So I saw Oppenheimer there in 70 millimeter IMAX, and it ruled. But honestly, I mean, even if it's not in 70 millimeter, like seeing it in IMAX is awesome. But the 70 millimeter screening that I saw was full. The Dolby screening that I, was like, everything is full because it's fun to watch movies with other people. It is fun to be with other people, and you don't get that experience as much as you used to just in the world that we live in now. I mean, I work in this office all day, every day, and I am alone talking, making cold calls on the phone. Like I don't see other humans most of the day. There's something to be said about going to a place and being around other people and judging them for the way that they're on their phone in the previews.
Oh my God.
And, you know, talking through whatever. But that is a part of being human. And I mean, that's kind of what the movie is about too, of just understanding that there are differences and being around. Like, I not to be too sentimental or whatever, but like that is an important thing that we don't get out of our bubble a lot. And I think movies are a really important way that we can do that.
We harp on it all the time on this podcast too, and not to mention the human experience. The girl that was sat next to me in the second viewing of the Odyssey was ripping ass the entire time. So there was talk about the human experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
The people next to me in my first screening were just full making out for the first hour, and then they left.
Hell
and
yeah.
I was like, that. I'm sorry that you missed that, but honestly, I get it. This is a film of love.
They left an hour into the movie?
I'm not sure that they were there so much for the movie as they were, you know, they did have, they were eating the lotus flower, if you will. But again, I think it's beautiful. And did I pull up their armrests so I could kind of scoot in between? Sure. Once they left, that's fine. But you know, I just think
you may have wanted to wipe down that seat.
Yeah, that's fair. But you know what? It's important. I saw it. I got the full experience of being human, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll also say that I can fully see like the negative, very capitalist and kind of bad way that we get to more 70 millimeter IMAX screens is that we end up in a world where like the only movies that come out in theaters are the big event movies that are worth putting on 70 millimeter screens, and then the Sheep Detectives and everything else is going straight to streaming, and like we're just never putting those things in theaters ever again. But
or they're gonna make all the IMAX 70 millimeter screenings data centers by day, and then IMAX theaters by night. It's one of the two.
Use your human blood to cool down these data centers so you can see. So donate human blood so you can see the Odyssey.
We're making Matrix 78 in 70 millimeter IMAX. You have to donate blood to see it.
I don't know. We could talk about this movie. I think 1,000. I think we've done a decent job of covering it in full. I mean, see it like it's. Dex, also your point about spoiling the Odyssey is very funny because it's like, yes, it's like you can kind of, and in fact, I did kind of spoil it for myself a little bit because I watched a movie called The Return on before, which is literally like the third act of this movie, but in a about an hour and a half. Which I guess the third act might have been an hour and a half in this movie, but it's basically the return of Odysseus. And it was made in 2024, and I watched it, and I had forgotten that he like kills everybody at the end of the movie, and they do that in that movie, and I was like, man, that would have been good to have not known. You know what I mean?
The only thing in this movie that I felt like could have been spoiled was the Zendaya reveal, because like, man, that shit hit when I first saw it.
Go ahead.
I don't think that's a part of like the text or anything. Like that's just a movie invention, right? Like,
yeah. Well,
Zendaya's only like 25. She wasn't around for Homer.
Zendaya's eternal.
Well, it's kind of because in the Odyssey, the gods are like characters in the poem. So there are times where the gods come either like directly, not indirectly. Like we know Poseidon's got beef with Odysseus because of shot an arrow at
they are
sun.
Characters
in the poem that's more direct. Sometimes the gods are appearing to him directly and having conversations with him, so it's kind of like it's kind of a movie invention and a really smart one, but also it's kind of like an odd or nod to the fact that in the Odyssey, the poem, the gods are characters, whereas obviously Nolan had no interest in telling a story about gods. He's telling a story about the humans. And so the use of Athena in that way, whether or not that's actually supposed to be Athena, obviously, there are two ways to really view it, given that we find out what happens to Zendaya's character. Is he seeing Athena through the eyes of that woman who he saw die, which was probably the breaking point where he realized that society is fucked and I did it? Or was that actually Athena it leaves them open for interpretation. But I think it's basically just a nod to the fact that the gods are in play here, and Athena is visiting him and guiding him, but it might not actually be Athena that is doing the guiding.
Yeah.
And I just think this is such a smart way to.
It was so good, and yeah, that's the only thing in the movie that I'm like, if you read the book, like, I don't think you'd be watching the movie and then be like, oh yeah, Athena is obviously this like village girl that Matt Damon saw beheaded, and that like,
yeah, you definitely wouldn't get that from the book.
So yeah, that could be spoiled. Everything else, it's like, yeah, whatever. But
I mean, if you've ever said the word coward or mentor, you've had the Odyssey spoiled. Like, what are we talking about? Like, all of this it's all been done 1,000 times because the poem is so old. But
yeah.
my feeling watching this, I'm the son of a Baptist preacher, right? So I did not grow up with Greek mythology as essential to my beliefs, but I just loved the idea that, like, back in the day, you could be really scared that the man of the sea is angry at you because you hurt his son. Like, I there's something beautiful about the idea of like nature being so scary that like you've just had to decide, like, somebody up in the sky is mad at me, and that is why this storm is happening. Like, I think that's really cool and fun, and it was told in a really cool modern way that the gods weren't like a joke, or it wasn't like everybody's rolling their eyes like, who believes in this or what. Like, it did feel very realistic. You could understand why they would think that. They're all on these wooden ships and they're just getting blasted around by the sea. Like, it makes sense that you would think this way. I mean, it just, yeah, it was so good. I mean, again, I think if you're here an hour and a half in, you've probably seen this, but if not, get out. What are you doing? Get out there and see it.
Yeah, a couple of things before we go. I mean, he opens the movie with literally the slogan "In a time of apparent magic." Like, it's like, that's pretty apparent. But he, like you said, TG's not interested in making the gods characters when it's like Zeus is interpreted by like a strike of thunder, and like Poseidon is you've angered Poseidon because the sea is angry at you, and and it's like, but the whole ethos of it is that the gods could walk among you. You know what I mean? And they say that several times in the movie, and that's essentially Zeus's law. The Athena thing was really interesting because at first I was like, I thought it was more of a allegory is the wrong word, but like an allusion to like, oh, because they beheaded the Athena statue and basically raped this town, like that was them killing Athena. You could also look at it in the opposite way, and the second viewing I found it more literal, that girl became his embodiment of what that was, because of what she was, because the gods walk among us. You know what I mean? And I think I mean, Damon talked about this. It's a movie about PTSD. Like, we haven't talked about enough. And it's like one of the best movies, I think, about PTSD. And I think that kind of goes without saying. Like, it's really interesting in that way. But yeah, at first I was like, oh, this is an illusion. Second viewing, it became way more literal to me. So that was interesting to see. Do we have anything else we want to talk about? Because we're an hour and a half in, we still got to talk about one more movie. And I know, Tyler, I don't think you've seen
so fucking good. Because we just went on this whole like rant about the Athena village girl Zendaya of it all, and it's like we didn't even really break down like the themes of like Robert Pattinson's story, and like
we didn't even touch on the coolest scene in the movie, which was Hades.
Yeah, like
Hades was so fucking cool, man. That was
when he runs away scared, where he's like, let's go. Like, it's just like that's also going to be used in like memes too for forever.
Him giving Robert Pattinson back his lot is just that's so good.
Giving it so good. And look, in a world of things that feel like they are designed for you to watch in the background, it is so cool to have something that rewards you for multiple viewings. Like, this gets better the more that you watch it.
Yeah.
And I just think that's rare. Like, there are not many things that are built for you to watch multiple times and for you to not get it all the first time. And it's really neat that we have this that exists. I did want to touch on why is this rated R? They drop one F-bomb. There's some gore, but not like a crazy amount of gore. It
it's not like
feels like
Viscera.
it feels like it's a PG-13 movie that they just asked to be rated R so it would be taken seriously. But I mean, other than like one or two parts, I think you could show this in high
Cyclops
school.
is eating people. And the Cyclops eating them was fucking
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
You couldn't take an 11-year-old to go see this movie.
No, but you could take a 13-year-old, which is PG-13. Like I think you could show this in high school. Other than like one or two.
I think they will show it
I
in high
agree.
school.
That's my point, though, is that like it's rated R. It's just it feels like it was pushed to be rated R in order to get taken seriously at the box office. But
how many guys have to get eaten for me to get into my?
But I mean, it feels like there's
please.
a very easy cut of this that's PG-13, and I think it's interesting that
Is it just PG-13 for so long that they were like, okay, now it's rated R? Like, PG-13 for 2.5 hours is PG-13. PG-13 for 3 hours is rated R.
That's probably it. 13-year-olds can't handle this much time. They're going to be bored. But I mean, I do think that's interesting in the way that ratings work and all of that. But I mean, I know we touched on it a little bit, but Nolan is just a master of the medium of visual storytelling. Like the way that you see the Trojan horse sequence, there's no dialogue for that. For 5 minutes, you see they talk about what's in the ship. Elliot Page says this is a gift for Athena, and then it's 5 minutes of them dragging this thing up the beach over these logs, which clearly they physically did. They built this giant thing. I think it's out in LA, right? Like the Trojan horse is out there somewhere.
Yeah, the Trojan horse is.
But I mean, they did all of this. There's no dialogue. They're covering mouths and stuff. They get down. They're silent. They kill all the people, and then there's all this.
That scene.
But then there's all the silent like fighting of the air, like all of that. There's no dialogue. He is so good at telling a story visually, and that's what makes movies cool. And it's what makes movies cool when you're not on your phone scrolling Twitter while watching a movie. And again, that's not how most movies are made nowadays. And it's really cool to see one that is made that forces you to be all in and to watch it multiple times and understand. And then one final thought I had with this is we talked about kind of the idea of the gods and stuff of the Odyssey and all of that. I think it's so interesting compared to the last movie that Christopher Nolan made of the idea of science kind of uncovering the gods and being better than the god. Like we understand the world better than any of these myths ever did. We can create this weapon from an atom that none of you can comprehend, and we can explode this thing and it can create more damage than anything Zeus could ever do. I think it's so interesting that Nolan went from Oppenheimer, which is the story of science defying the gods, to then going to this story of just the gods. There's no scientific explanation of how Cersei turns these people into pigs. Everyone just understands, like, yeah, that's what happens. Or Poseidon is angry at us, and that's why the storms are happening. There's no debate of, well, it's actually the wind pressure or what. Like, it's really interesting that Nolan can take both of those sides and get at the human element of the emotions that are taking place there and all of that. I think it's a really cool way to juxtapose those two things with Oppenheimer and the Odyssey.
I do agree. It's also at times no one ever accused Nolan of being subtle, especially when they arrive on the island made of steel, the steel giants instead of the bronze giants. You know what I mean? And it's just and that's another filmmaking trick, the forced perspective, where they use 7-foot actors.
Oh,
and
how'd they make them look so big? That was so cool.
They used 4-foot actors.
They used big ass actors, and they used for the men that got swole women that were really short to juxtaposition them. That's just come on. That's real filmmaking. That's practical effects. This is stuff people were doing in the 1930s and 40s.
It's
That's
so good.
amazing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has been Odyssey chat. We're going to talk about this movie all year, but that has been an hour and a half on the Odyssey. We're the only people talking about this movie, so you
Mhm.
know, like
You ought to see this thing. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, for those of you that hadn't seen it, the two of you. But Tyler, thanks so much. I assume you didn't see the invite, correct?
Not yet. I'll get to it eventually.
man.
My wife went and saw.
Make sure you see the invite, Tyler. You're
I am
going to
in. I got to
fucking
see
love it.
that. I got to see Speederman. There's a lot that I got to go see, but I have not caught that yet. So y'all have fun
Yeah.
talking about the invite, which I assume is a sequel to The Menu, which is one of my favorite movies.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
it's,
y'all have
the
fun.
trilogy is the menu, the invite, the drama.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in. I love those. Y'all have fun. Thank you so much for having me. Please
Got it.
invite me back at some
Thanks for
point.
coming.
Please
come back.
invite me back at some point.
We definitely will. Real quick, so tell them where to find your litany of work.
Okay, I'm on x.com, the everything app. Everything is happening on X at Tyler C. Stafford. I have an Astros podcast if you're interested. It's called Crush City Territory. I am also next week heading up to Nashville to record a little EP. And so I'm excited. It's kind of indie rock, Frightened Rabbit, Manchester Orchestra, brand new style music. I'm really excited about that. I am on the TikTok on a name that I've only come up with. One day I'll have a better one, but is Goofs and Gigs. Goofs for all my jokes, gigs for all my music. So you can follow me there. But follow me on Twitter. That's where I post everything. And hopefully this album comes out and dozens of you love it. And that'll make me feel great. My only request is if you hear it and you don't like it, don't tell me. That'll hurt my feelings. I would not appreciate that one bit. You can just say you hadn't heard it, and that's all I need. But if you do hear it and you like it, share it with people. But boy, let me tell you, I sure don't want to hear that you don't like it. I don't want that one bit. I am going to work really hard on it, and it would hurt my feelings quite a bit for you to tell me that. So just don't say that. But yeah, I'm excited.
That's awesome.
But yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Not a problem. That man is a father of many children. Do not tell him you don't like this.
Too much children.
All right, Tyler, thank you very much.
See y'all.
All right. We'll take a quick break and then return real quick to talk about the invite. I don't think we're going to spend an hour and a half on this movie, but quite frankly,
is the movie even an hour and a half?
I don't know, but quite frankly, I have to pee. So I'll be back. We'll be back.
All right, I'll be right back too.
Do-do-do. Is anybody watching this thing?
All right, I'm back.
What timing?
Nice.
All right, so we are back on the One Take Podcast. Thanks again to Tyler Stafford for joining us, man. He was really thoughtful about that.
He crushed that
really
shit.
thoughtful about that movie.
What a guy.
Yeah.
So we're talking about another surprising, if not box office success, one of the best critical successes of the year. And when it's all said and done, I think it's going to be one of the best movies of the year. The Invite came out a few weeks ago. Written and directed, or not written by Olivia Wilde, but directed by Olivia Wilde, written by Will McCormack and Rashida Jones, based on a former movie, 2020 movie. I think it's called The Couple Upstairs, a Spanish film by Sisik Gay, I believe is his name. But anyway, here's the synopsis. Joe and Angela's marriage is on thin ice when they invite their enigmatic upstairs neighbors for a dinner party. The night spirals into unexpected places. It's a four-hander, stars Seth Rogen, Olivia Wilde, Penelope Cruz, and Edward Norton, all taking place, kind of a chamber piece, all taking place in one apartment. This movie didn't cost much money to make, which is kind of funny considering the people involved. I believe it was over. I thought I saw the cost of it, but it was maybe like $5 million or something like that. It was at Sundance actually. And so far it's made like $32 million. I mean, it absolutely got steamrolled by the Odyssey. They kind of put it out there as almost like counter programming. But again, it's been a modest success for its cost at the box office. It has like a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. Yeah, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And it's going to do big on streaming. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, this is going to be the Menu memorial. It's going to hit streaming, and people are going to be like, why didn't no one tell us?
So, I was going to say the no one told us the Menu Award for no one told us about this movie when it comes to HBO Max. But it is, I mean, it is like 5 times the film that the Menu is.
Seriously.
And I just have to say, Olivia, from us to you, I guess we owe you an apology.
I think that we do. I honestly think that we owe Olivia Wilde an apology.
Beaming home.
We are the only podcast that watched Don't Worry, Darling. We shit all over that film.
Which was deserved.
Rightfully so. She earned that. That being said, it is clear now that is just a departure, and obviously she had a lot of other stuff going on at that time in terms of the dynamics between her and the rest of the cast. We won't get into that, but this showed me, I wasn't wrong about Booksmart. That wasn't lightning in a bottle. Olivia Wilde is just a good filmmaker, and that is just a really cool conclusion to arrive at, because Don't Worry, Darling scared me. I thought, holy shit, this woman fucking stinks, and she made Booksmart, which is incredible, and I just thought that maybe this is going to go the other way, and she's back. And she shut me up. She shut me
back. She's back in my good graces. When Don't Worry, Darling came out, everybody knows we are the support Florence Pugh podcast. That's what we do here. Florence Pugh is incapable of being bad in a movie. She can be in bad movies, but she's never been bad in a movie. Olivia Wilde.
And she's also really good in Don't Worry, Darling.
She's really good in Don't Worry, Darling. Olivia Wilde tried to ruin her with a Harry Styles bullshit side quest that she was on, which was fucking insane. And I thought that we were going to have to throw Olivia Wilde away. I thought that Booksmart might have been an aberration, and that Don't Worry, Darling might be who she really was, and she had us fooled. But no, she's got it. She's got the juice. She is an incredible director when she's not doing some bullshit with Harry Styles. Like, she got 3 people who can act, and she can also act, and they just locked in for a few days in one New York apartment. They just fucking smoked it. This movie's incredible, man.
Yeah, they filmed it in like a month or something, which, it's credit, but it's like not just the acting and the script, which is, I think they were it was a great script by Rashida Jones and Will McCormack, who, it's funny to say that, Parks and Rec's Rashida Jones wrote this, but
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, I'm just finding that out right now.
But they were also kind of writing on the day, and they would find. I've listened to a lot of interviews with them, and like they're also writing on the day and finding stuff on the day. And of course, Edward Norton's is really good at that. But like Seth Rogen's the king of finding stuff on the day, and so they were kind of writing as they go. But it's like on top of all that, the direction in this movie is outstanding.
It's shot so well. It's shot so well.
I mean, it's like they make this tight space feel like a labyrinth, but also like lived in, and you kind of
also kind of scary.
But you kind of know you're very oriented in the space. You know where you are the entire time, but it's also like it's also winding and stuff for a what, like a 400 square foot. Like that's not true. It's probably like a 2,000 square foot apartment, but like it's like
a really big apartment, but it being big and like, you know, them just having this insane ass apartment is a part of the story also.
Yeah.
And it works. Oh man, it's so good.
So we should just kind of go through it. I mean, spoilers for the invite, but it's tough to talk about this without really spoiling it. By the way, we don't get them a lot anymore. Adult comedy, very funny movie,
man.
And it's maybe kind of
extremely
advertised as something else, and you would think, oh well, is Seth Rogen taking a weird swing here? No, it's the funniest he's been in a movie in forever.
It's hilarious. I haven't laughed like that in a theater in a long time. Like,
and I in my theater experience, like I didn't think people knew, because we're not accustomed to it. I didn't think people knew when to laugh, but I'm like, guys, this is incredible satire that we're watching on the screen right now. But on top of that, it's also emotionally wrecking at the end of the movie. It's about a marriage falling apart. But it's the interweaving of Norton and Cruz, who has never been better, and she looks just incredible.
Good woman.
She is perfect in this film. Her, not just the way she looks, like she is the one throwing the fireballs before Norton has his big moment. She's the one throwing the fireball. And obviously the funniest character in the movie is Seth Rogen, and he's kind of positioned as the funny one because he's kind of the fourth one to realize what's happening. He's kind of, like he's the one lagging, and also he's like pissed off at his girlfriend before the company even arrives. So he is set up as the funny. Cruz, Penelope is bringing all the looks, and she is also giving the best performance. And then Norton in the third act just completely rips your heart out. And you're like, wait, what am I watching? I've been laughing for an hour. I got tears in my eyes, but now I have different tears in my eyes. How do we even arrive there? It's insane what Norton is able to do with it. He changes the entire genre of the movie.
But then Rogen rips it right back with one of the meanest things anybody's ever said to anybody.
Howie. God, man, it's so good. Olivia Wilde the entire time is just like a ball of anxiety, but I was like never mad at her for like obviously being a very annoying person throughout this entire movie, but it's like I see how she got there, like it works. It just
her best performance. I think it's her best performance.
Great movie.
I think it's her best performance in her career for sure.
The score is insane. Like it's so good from top to bottom. I gave this movie 5 stars also. Like it's a different 5 stars than the Odyssey.
I did
5
too.
stars. But like, nevertheless, it just feels like they nailed every single thing that they tried to do in this movie. They just, I said, the score is incredible.
It's filmmaking of a different name. You know what I mean? Like this, we were just talking about this. Like in service of trying to get more people in theaters, we already do kind of see it where it's like, especially with the superhero stuff, it's like in service to that, we kind of sacrifice this filmmaking, and there's something to be said about why this is necessary. You know what I mean? Where it's like adults having adult conversations, regardless of how wild they are, adults having adult conversations about adulthood. And, granted, it's the most heightened thing it's ever been, but it doesn't all have to be, it doesn't all have to be the Odyssey. It can be this and still be a stroke of brilliant filmmaking. And, yeah, I just think I got to look at the cinematographer on this. I think it's the same cinematographer that shot Seth Rogen's series on Apple, the studio.
The
Yeah,
studio?
I'm pretty sure. But anyway,
Yeah,
Fucking love
it
the
is.
studio, by the way.
yeah. So
This movie's also really in conversation with the drama. Obviously,
yeah.
another adult comedy, but it's very much in
shaking
conversation
hands.
with the drama, just because I have both of those films as 5 stars. And again, it's a different 5-star than the Odyssey. And maybe this is, I really like the drama. Like, really, I gave it 5 stars. Obviously, I really like it. The level of cinematography that you're getting with the invite, when they're standing on the pillars in the apartment and they're kind of panning from face to face as every character kind of has these revelations. I was like, not only is this funny, not only are they able to hit emotions, but also it is incredibly well shot. You kind of get everything that you're looking for and more when you sit down and go watch the invite. If it's still in theaters, I would recommend it to anyone. But if you're not going to go see it in theaters, it's going to bang just as much in your house. And it's not a movie that you're going to want to pick your phone up for, because it's like a joke a minute. For the first 2 acts, it's like a joke a minute, and it moves so quickly. And Seth Rogen is just firing. And if you have liked any Seth Rogen movie that you've ever seen, or any Seth Rogen TV show, you're going to love this, because I agree with Royden. I love Seth Rogen. I think that he's phenomenal. I think this is the funniest he's been in a movie since the beginning stuff. Since we're talking about Knocked Up, or since we're talking about Neighbors, which I really love. He is so fucking funny in this movie, starting from the first second of the movie. He is so funny in this movie, and him and Olivia have so much chemistry, and the way they play off of each other in their relationship is just so fascinating, to where you're having a pretty amazing time at the theater before Penelope Cruz's character and Edward Norton's character even arrive at the house. They're in an argument, and the way that the argument is filmed, the way that it's staged, it's so funny, it's so brilliant. And before you've even got to the conceit of the film, you are automatically like, I'm seeing something special on screen here that these people put together. Their chemistry together as a couple was just fucking flat out amazing. Obviously, the chemistry was for the worst, because they're the worst couple ever. But you really understood how they both arrived at the positions they arrived at before the company arrived.
But he's also doing some like capital A acting. Like, this is like Arrested Development, but in a different way, because he does that characters really well. Seth Rogen does, but it's in a different way, and it's in a, dare I say, a more mature way than we saw in those earlier films. And I just think that I think it's probably the best, performance of his career as well. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if like most of these, if not all of these actors, come away with nominations, like, Edward and Cruz, Norton and Cruz for supporting, and both of them for best actor and best actress. And it's something that we don't see in like in comedies really, but like it has enough of the, to category fraud a little bit. It has enough of the drama in it that folks will like take it seriously. You know what I mean?
Cruz is mind-blowingly good in this film. If you like Penelope Cruz, you've never seen her better than you're going to see her in this film. Not just how she looks, although obviously she looks fucking perfect, but she kind of has to look perfect. Like her look is the reason why the character can do what the character can do. But her general performance is the best I've ever seen her, and she's been in some good shit.
Her look and
she
the accent
phenomenal.
Are just like just perfect. And then when she turns into the sex therapist that she is, it's like, oh wow, like she's also smoking this like deep insightful shit too, like along with being like the hot one, like it's just an incredible performance, man. And Penelope Cruz is kind of already in the club. Like, did she win an Oscar already? I know she's been nominated.
Yeah, I think for like Vicky Cristina Barcelona or something like that.
The movie. Like, I don't think that movie's very good, but she's been alongside Tom Cruise, like going bar for bar. So like she has been in all the. She's done all the shit.
It's not gonna be like, oh yeah, like we've never taken Penelope Cruz seriously before. We can't give
how
her
the fuck
like,
it was for Vicky Cristina. How did I know that? Why is that in my brain?
I don't know. The fact that you pulled that, I was instantly, like, oh, you must have just looked that up, because you pulled that so fast. That movie is not very good, but she is. I think that she is better in this movie than she is in that movie. And this is a much better movie.
I got to say to our guy in the chat that said The Invite was awful, worst movie of all time. Nah.
Grow up.
There's no way that you, first of all, just seeing Penelope Cruz on screen, not to be that guy, already takes this movie out of the worst movie conversation ever before anything ever happens on screen. She is so fucking charming and good looking. And when she's in a room alone with Seth Rogen, he's got to try to act like he's not feeling this, or like he's not like it's their chemistry. Also, it's not just the chemistry of the couples, which is great. The Rogen's chemistry with Penelope is really good, and then her chemistry with Norton's character is really good. And it's like now you're getting into the other separate parts of the movie where they kind of separate and they're kind of coupled off. And the chemistry still persists. It's just like it's crazy how funny and how good the timing is across it all. But that's what happens when you have four people who are making the movie on the day. They show up, they find little bits, they find here's a little beat that could be funnier, here's a delivery that could be a little different, and they find that chemistry, and you really feel it when you're watching the movie. You really feel Olivia, she said that one thing she mandated was like, we have to come together and do table reads before we ever start filming. I need y'all for a week or 2 weeks to come with me and we can find this movie. And she's like, in that week or 2 weeks, that's where the movie happened. It wasn't in the script, although the script is obviously great. We found the movie when the four of us got together. We all put the rest of our life away and focused on this thing that we all loved and all thought could be really good. And she was like, the four of us were able to find that chemistry. This is beautiful that we're able to do.
And they also filmed the movie like a play. They filmed it linear. I cannot say that word.
Yeah.
They filmed it in a row. And they filmed it like, page one, we filmed page one, that's not how movies are made. Like the Odyssey, you could not have done that because it was cost $1 billion to bus back and forth between Greece and Los Angeles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they'd have to leave that castle that took them an hour to go up, and then they have to come back to that castle. That would have been you couldn't do that.
But that you kind of can get away with it, and most movies don't film that way. And in fact, a lot of the I think every one of the stars said they really hadn't filmed a movie that way. But like you can get away with it here because it is such a chamber piece. And I found I think I gave this 4.5 stars. I might have to watch it again. I think it's an A movie for me for sure. I think kind of where I balked at it because it gets so zany where they're like, spoiler alert, sirens going off for this movie, by the way. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. It gets so zany where they're like, why don't we just all fuck each other? And I'm just like, what? Like it just like almost threatened to take me out of it a little bit, but then it like wrangles you back in with the interplay between the two couples and especially Cruz and Rogen, and he keeps going, oh, thank you so much. Like it's just like
yeah, I feel like that's the part about that's what I came here for. Like that's what I guess it says on the tin, right? Like they're all gonna fuck each other. Like you watch the trailer and you're like, oh yeah, that's what this movie is about. So like it didn't really take me out of it.
But it's also the whole reason why they came to the apartment in the first place. Like Penelope Cruz's and Norton's character, they literally only went down there because they're like, we want to fuck that couple downstairs.
Which is a funny premise, and I get it. I just was like, at first I was like, whoa. Like I kind of was really shocked by it, which is good in its own, but I was like, I didn't leave thinking it was the best movie of all time, so I didn't put it at 5 stars on Letterboxd, but it's still like an A movie to me. Like it's not, I cannot knock it down a peg at all.
I will say that extra half star probably came from me because the entire theater was dying laughing the entire time. And if I was in a quieter theater, then maybe I would have ranked.
I was in a quiet theater, and I was the one cackling in the theater like an idiot.
My theater was loud and raucous. Also, the movie starts, she is shopping for a rug, and he is riding his bike home from work. And he walks into the apartment, and before he says a word, he just passes out right by the door. And I feel like I laughed the loudest in the theater when that happened because I was like, wait, we're not even going to say a fucking word yet. And Seth Rogen's already doing dumb shit. Starting the movie that way before they've even said a word to each other, I just think that's so fucking funny because you could see Seth Rogen just doing that for one take, and they were just like, no. Keep that in. Let's do that. Let's keep that. It's just such a funny way to start.
I mean, they set him up. He's a dumb loser. He can't get his bike out of the door. It's just a funny sight gag, and all of his teenage students are like, what the fuck? What is up with this guy? You know what I mean? He's just a down on his luck,
He's
depressed
gonna end up
loser.
smoking a blunt with Penelope Cruz. Can you imagine what it would be like to Penelope Cruz in your personal office, asking you about your shit and taking interest in you? I might faint, and I got like I pride myself on not being too high or too low. I feel like I can play in the big games, but Penelope Cruz is one of the most beautiful women ever. Her accent is the sexiest accent you've ever heard, and she is literally laughing at Seth Rogen's jokes. Can you imagine what that would feel like when your fucking the love of your life, who's been pissing you off all day, is in the other room and you are trying your best to be a faithful man? Please, she's laughing at every joke I tell. She's giving me so much rhythm, and I gotta try to act like I don't notice that. He plays that scene so fucking perfectly because he's just like, oh, okay, I gotta be in my Seth Rogen bag, and it just works. It just really works.
And also, you like earlier in the conversation, soft launch like talking shit about your wife, and then she also was talking shit about your wife. Like she agrees with you
and talking shit about her partner as well too. You know, like
yeah,
it's like,
man, like you also think that her partner sucks, and like you know your wife is trying too hard with this hormone shit, and like it just went nowhere. Like oh
that
man,
became
I
a
had to feel so
meme.
fucking
That
good.
became a meme instantly.
Hamon.
Mind if a white lady serve a little hamon? You know, like.
But yeah, like I love the way the movie just like builds and builds and builds, and like you know you get to the scene about the window and like you know the significance of like this window and their view into the apartment or whatever, and I felt betrayed like Seth Rogen. I was like, Olivia Wilde was doing what?
Well, yeah, and it's
Like-
just it's funny what they all brought to the thing because it's like Seth Rogen, you know, married man, no kids, is essentially in like a really happy relationship. Olivia Wilde, we all know about her shit, and in fact, you know, this is the better version of a marriage falling apart movie than the one that she tried to make before. So good on her for kind of harnessing that energy, and you know, and it's just like, oh, we haven't had sex for a year, and like Seth Rogen couldn't believe that apparently. Like maybe it's apocryphal or whatever, but like that's like an anecdote that they said. It's like, oh, what do you mean you hadn't had sex in a year? Like who does that? You know what I mean? And so it's just like, it's funny, it's sexy, it's heartfelt, and then the ending is just devastating. Devastating, but also hopeful. Like I chose it as a cynical person. I chose to like kind of find a little hope in the end of the movie.
Yeah, I'm telling myself that it's all working out. Fuck it. I'm not. Y'all aren't La La Land and me, bitch. I'm not doing it.
Before we get to the end, can we? So the Norton turn and spoiler alert. They basically, Seth Rogen is not into the Norton character at all from the beginning. He's kind of very suspicious of him. He doesn't really fuck with the guy. But Norton's character is giving a very earnest performance and trying to be very earnestly into Seth Rogen. He's telling
Rogen is the audience
the fact
character.
that yeah, basically. And you say, so, you know, Norton's telling him, I love when you're brutally honest, because Rogen is literally telling him how much he hates him. He realizes that he's using a fake name. His name is literally Hawk, so obviously his name is fake. So Rogen's giving him shit. And then Edward Norton's character tells you why he has this fake name and this fake persona before he met the love of his life, which happens to be the most beautiful woman in the world, Penelope Cruz. And it gets extremely serious. It gets extremely heartwarming. They didn't know, the other actors did not know what he was going to say. He went to Olivia and said, hey, I have something for this, but I don't want to tell y'all what it is. I want you to experience it in real time. I'm not going to tell you what the backstory is of my character, but I have already fashioned it. I have something I think it's going to work. They get on set. He does that monologue, which is going to maybe get him an Oscar nomination. He delivers it perfectly. It is very heartfelt. I will not spoil it. I want you to see it if you haven't seen this film. But he delivers this monologue, and they've all got to play off of it. And there's a moment of silence, and then Seth Rogen continues to shit on this guy because that's what his character's supposed to do. It's brilliant. And it was made on set. Seth Rogen didn't know what he was going to say. And after hearing this sob story, Seth Rogen still has to slander this guy. And it just works. It's a perfect little moment of movie making that you can't get unless these characters and these actors and actresses have found that intimacy and that chemistry to try shit, and sometimes the shit that you try is the gold that we're looking for. I just thought that was so phenomenal. And when I heard Olivia tell the story of them not knowing that he was going to say the things that he said, it just made the movie even better for me. It's just, that's mind blowing that they're able to find that.
Olivia Wilde is like actually really fucking good at this shit when she doesn't have Harry Styles in the middle of her film thinking it up. Like,
I love that we're blaming Harry Styles. Fuck Harry Styles.
Fuck you, blame Harry Styles because clearly Olivia Wilde has the juice. Like, you know, other people might not love Booksmart as much as I do, right? Like, you know, whatever. But that's a well-made film. Like, regardless of if you're like, if all the comedy lands for you or if you don't give a fuck about Lady Superbad. But like, you know, that shit is good. Don't Worry, Darling fucking stinks. And then The Invite has some, like, just has the sauce, man. Like, she's got it. So I'm choosing to believe that Harry Styles is the variable here that caused her downfall in the second movie that she made.
I mean, it's hard to dispute their scientific evidence, but I mean, whomst among us, you know what I mean? But I think it does a really good job. And look, I'm in a happy marriage. I just have to use that as a disclaimer. But it does a really good job of give it like really putting you in like with a couple that's been through the shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're only together because they have a daughter, and they admit it as much in the movie. But those arguments are like real ass arguments for somebody that's ever been in a long-term relationship where she's like, I told you that they were coming. And he's like, I never remember you telling me that they were coming down here. And then he said, you know, when you saw us in the elevator today, and Seth Rogen is like proven right, like by that. And it's just like in the little communications between couples of like, we have wine. Oh, we have wine. Yeah. In the cabinet. And it's like, oh, okay. Like that.
Our anniversary wine.
Yeah. That sort of stuff.
I also really like the bit of Seth Rogen trying to bring up the conversation of because they're the Norton character and the Cruise character are having very loud sex and they're keeping Seth Rogen awake at night, and obviously it's doubled on top of that, or the fact that Seth Rogen and Olivia's characters are not having sex. So not only are you not having sex, but you're hearing the loudest possible sex, which we later find out is because it's loud as fuck because it's like literal group sex. They're bringing other people into their bedroom, so it's loud as shit. Meanwhile, you're laying next to a woman that you are not fucking, and she's not fucking you, and you know it's not going to happen tonight because it didn't happen last night, and it's not going to happen the night after. Yet you have to hear a literal sex party above your head. So Seth Rogen's pissed, and so he keeps trying to bring up the fact that he wants to talk about this loud sex that they're having, but Olivia is like mortified by the fact he's going to bring this up, so she keeps trying to interrupt him. And that's just like a funny bit that you get for like 30 minutes of these ongoing conversations. He keeps trying to interject and bring it up, and then she keeps on shutting him down. And that's just a funny
to your point. I think the funniest bit in the movie and the most relatable bit for couples in the movie is when they finally admit, hey, we've been having group sex. I'm so sorry about that. And both Rogen and Wilde lock in. They're like, oh, actually, do tell us more. This is the most entertained that we've been. And they kind of like become
look back and forth of like, oh shit.
Yeah, can I talk to you outside for like 2 seconds? Just 1 second. We'll be right back.
What's
and they're
up,
like, they're like, what the fuck is it? This is awesome. We should invite people over more often. Like
that look of like, we're gonna debrief about this as soon as I leave. Like that shit.
I thought that was the most relatable stuff in the movie, and then it like it really does take kind of a heartbreaking turn where you know they let Cruise therapize them a little bit, and Olivia Wilde gives a really striking performance, I think, and the fact that she also directed this is, you know, a testament to her, but also her second unit director.
You could tell that came from a real place. You could tell what Olivia was doing came from an extremely real place. As somebody who's been in that situation, or not in that exact situation, obviously, but what Olivia was doing on screen came from a very real place in those scenes where she realizes that this thing is crashing and burning and maybe ending, and they kind of have their airing of grievances, and it is legitimately heartbreaking. It's not easy to watch.
Yeah, we can go on and on about this movie. I think more. We touched on the ending a little bit, but the ending shot is incredible because a lot of this is shot, a lot of like window work and like what windows mean into somebody's apartment is in this, and then she chooses to film the ending of him. The thing with him is he's a kind of down on his luck musician, or a failed musician is what you would probably call it, but like
Yeah, he had a hit like way back in the day, but now he's just like a music teacher at a shitty high school.
And like, but he starts playing piano. She shows up to play piano beside him. She very smartly at the very beginning of the movie, over the credits, intercuts people playing piano and playing that same song at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's like the first thing you hear is that song playing when the movie's starting, which is a very good way to bring.
So I should go back for real quick. It's like they have all this stuff. They break off to maybe have group sex or have sex with the other partners or whatever, and then it all comes to a head. They all have this argument, and then basically the Norton and Cruz disappear. So it is kind of funny where they're like, were they ever here in the first place?
Yeah. They don't like leave. They just kind of like literally disappear. So it's like, was this a figment of their imagination, or did this really happen?
Yeah.
Kind of
thing. And then the final shot of the movie, I think, is incredible because she chooses to film it through the window on the other side of the apartment into, or does she pull away or pan it? I can't remember, but like it's them playing the piano, kind of smiling, melancholy, and that's the ending shot of the movie. And I just thought that was brilliant. I just thought it was like just a simple way to end the movie. Leaves it up to a little bit of interpretation, which Wilde said that she chooses to say that it's a happy ending. I choose to say it's like, regardless of if they end up together or not, it's now more amicable, than it was, or will be more amicable than it was. And I choose to believe that even that could be a happy ending from what it was going into this.
Yeah, even if they do end up getting divorced, it's like, it's still better than it was, like them being in this obviously loveless marriage. But yeah, man, I just love this movie. Actually, I'm buying it on DVD as soon as I can. Like,
I knew this was going to be Dex's exact shit too, and it was like, man, it was bugging me that it took him this long to see it.
Yeah, this shit. I sent y'all the trailer like a few months ago or whenever that was, and I was like, this looks exactly like my kind of Carrying On. Like the trailer's incredible, and it like matches the movie really well, which I feel like is kind of underrated. We kind of talked about that earlier today with like Thomas Crown Affair teaser trailer, which kind of stinks. But the invite,
God, I'm so glad you said
the invite trailer gives you exactly like what the movie gives you. It's got like the same energy to it. It's got the same like tension to it. It's so good. Like, yeah, I fucking love this movie. This is gonna be in my top 5 at the end of the year for sure.
I can't wait to do it. This year it might be our best top 5s that we've had in a long time.
We got some bangers already, man, and like kind of all over the map too. You've got your small movies like The Invite, your big movies like The Odyssey. You got your Project Hail Marys already, like Obsession. And we're still getting like Dune, and we're getting an Avengers movie. Like we're
Spider-Man movie in a week.
A Spider-Man
movie. I'm seeing it tomorrow.
We're getting fucking like all of your usual like Oscar bait movies that like come out in November and December. We're still gonna get all of those. Like, this is a fucking banner year for movies.
Yeah, I mean we are fully back. It took forever post-COVID.
We've been telling y'all that we're back, and now you're seeing it playing out in real time. We've been telling y'all that we're back. Can I just say, I know that we're signing off, and I don't think we should do what we're watching tonight because we're about to come right back and do a Spider-Man episode. But can I just say, look, I love Michael B. Jordan. I'm glad they won an Oscar. I love the Thomas Crown Affair. It's special to me. Both of them are amazing. The teaser trailer for the Thomas Crown Affair that dropped today is an abomination. The Thomas Crown Affair is not a spy movie. It's not an art thief movie. It's not a fucking action movie. That's not what these movies are. These movies are horny as shit. It's about an arts dealer or arts thief, fine arts thief, who starts to fall for the woman investigating him. That's the premise of the Thomas Crown Affair. That's always the premise. That is the center of this universe. It doesn't mean that our two leads who are hot don't have chemistry, but but the trailer doesn't show you anything to establish that they do have this tension, the sexual tension that's at the center of the first two movies. And that doesn't mean that that's not there. I'm hoping that it's there. It is just a very strange decision to not put that front facing for the people who know what the Thomas Crown Affair is. If you don't know what the Thomas Crown Affair is, you just think this is a black spy movie about a guy who steals fine art and crashes cars and beats the shit out of people and happens to have a hot love interest. Sure, that looks like a very fun movie and it looks great. In some of the shots, you can tell he's in his director bag and it looks great. But the one thing that I need you to show me in a Thomas Crown Affair trailer or teaser or whatever it may be, we didn't get that yet. And so I'm hoping that we get that. I'm still very excited for the movie. Just a very strange decision to cut the trailer in this way. This looks like Mission Impossible. Like, Thomas Crown Affair is not Mission Impossible. It's closer to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Mr. and Mrs. Smith takes a lot from Thomas Crown Affair.
I mean, it's literally out of sight with George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, like, I understand that not all of you have seen these movies, so you can understand you think people are hating on this trailer. But if you watch either of the Thomas Crown Affairs, it is two very attractive people who have sexual attention that punches you in the face through the screen. That's what these movies are about. So I'm hoping that we have some of that. I'm sure that they at least attempted to put some of that on screen. Hopefully this decision to cut this teaser trailer in this way was not because that falls flat. Because if that chemistry falls flat, I can tell you right now, this movie will not.
Look, it's the two hottest people alive. It's Adrian Arjona and Michael B. Jordan. Like, come on. You know?
Two very attractive people.
Yeah. Anyway, we will be back hopefully within a week after we see the Spooderman brand new
Spider-Man Dim.
Yeah. Speaking of, I know we aren't doing what we're watching, but I have been rewatching, going back through the Spider-Mans, the Tom Holland ones. They're all good, man. The hate for Far From Home is wild and wrong, and I don't.
It's so silly to me.
Yeah. Anyway, and Willem Dafoe, 68-year-old Willem Dafoe was beating Tom Holland's ass in No Way Home, by the way.
Putting hands and feet on that man.
Anyway.
Real goddamn cinema.
Very COVID movie. You can tell. But it still rocks. Anyway, that has been a One Take podcast. Thank you to Tyler Stafford for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. We will be back hopefully very, very soon with Spider-Man, and then football season begins. So we'll see what I can watch. But we got the biggest movie of the year probably coming this week.
I'm so excited. I love Spider-Man. I'll be there every time.
Excited.
Even the bad ones. Like they make a live action Spider-Man movie or a Spider-Verse movie for the animated. I'm there every time. Doesn't matter.
Still haven't seen the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but that's fine. Dex, what are we doing?
Hashtag support Florence Pugh. She showed up at the Spider-Man premiere and looked fucking amazing. So hopefully she's in the Spider-Man movie, but I don't know that. But
why was she there?
We got a lot coming. Hopefully she's in the movie. I don't know.
She's MCU.
Oh yeah. I forget. She might. But all right. Support Florence Pugh, and we